history's greatest military secret is revealed.
I personally think they've been around for years, and they're documenting what's going on Earth. For what reason, I don't know. And when I came in on this thing, I had my trigger depressed, ready to shoot, and it just took off. But I knew now, like I said, that this was not an ordinary airplane. This is something far beyond anything we're on, even on the drawing board. Mach 10. No way. I'm sure that the Russians have incidents like this, and I'm sure that others. I know that there have been reported from Peru and Argentina and other countries, and even Iran had one that they talked about. So, you know, this is too universal to be a singular incident. This is just one of many. If there is a reason for closing it and putting it secret, it's because they're afraid that people will panic, because, you know, they're afraid of aliens and the War of the Worlds and things like that. I don't think that's the case, because I don't see any hostile intent in anything they've done so far.
Britain's Ministry of Defense has released 4,500 declassified pages of UFO sightings in British airspace. Beginning on page 295, the Milton Torres order to shoot down a UFO is finally verified after 52 years of silence. Retired Major Dr. Milton Torres, Ph.D., U.S. Air Force top jet fighter pilot, decorated Vietnam hero, and professor of civil engineering, is the only person in the world known to have been ordered to shoot down a UFO. This is his story.
This is a model of my F-86D in England with all the same markings that I had in England, with the checkerboard squadron that was in with the Queen. And this was the 86D with the radome here, and the rocket pod is here holding 24 rockets, and that's what I was supposed to shoot down the UFO with. And this is my favorite airplane. When I first came to Manston, the first thing we had to do was to, quote, transition to the new airplane. Well, I was already transitioned. I was trained at Perrin Air Force Base in Texas, which did nothing but train F-86D pilots. Okay, when I got there, we had everybody in the squadron had to get up to speed at the same level. We fired rocketry at Tripoli. We did all kinds of things. Once we finally knew what we were doing, so they say, they put us on alert. That we had to take a share of the alert. This is for the RAF and the USAF, depending on which airplanes were on duty. We would be on alert, waiting to be scrambled. Now, the scrambles usually were nothing more than some airliner that was lost, or somebody up there that was in trouble, and they wanted us to come up and lead them in. That's usually what happened. When I got this scramble, this is a different story. We were at the end of the runway in our alert shack, waiting for a scramble order, and I got it. It was somewhere near midnight. I don't remember the exact time, but it was very close to midnight. I scrambled, we got into the airplane and took off. The minute I took off, I checked into the GCI site, which was given to me when I took off, and GCI advised me, pick up a heading of 120 and go gate, which I was already at gate, which means going to afterburner all the way. The soup was so thick, you couldn't see any lights, you couldn't see anything. It was a set of clouds that went from the ground up to 32,000 feet, and I couldn't see a thing. It was one of these pea soup fogs that they had in England at the time. And during these pea soup fogs, this is when they were burning coal mostly in England, and therefore the fogs were really tough. So anyway, the minute I got airborne, there was actually, before I got airborne, they indicated this would be a hot fire measure. Hot fire? I turned and it says, "You will be ordered to fire 24 rockets." Well, that's a very heavy order, the kind of order that you demand an authentication. So I picked up my little matrix and went through the authentication procedure, and I looked down and they gave me 2 letters. They said, "Yes, this is our problem." That means I have to fire. From that moment on, it was I didn't know what to hope. This was either a Russian or some aircraft that they wanted to shoot down.